All right, let's get right into it. We've got a classic showdown for you today, a head-to-head test that's going to settle a really simple but super important question. When it comes to vacuum tools, does size actually matter? It's one of those things you probably wonder about on a job site. You just kind of assume bigger is better. But is it really true? Well, we're going to put that assumption to the test with some cold, hard data. So let's meet our fighters. In one corner, you've got the industry standard, the 1.5-inch tool. You've probably used one 1,000 times. And in the other corner, the heavyweight challenger, the 2-inch tool. It's the tried and true versus the bigger, beefier option. Okay, before we get to the action, we gotta talk about the rules. For any good showdown, you need a fair fight, and I mean a really fair fight. So this test was set up with some super strict controls to make sure we're only comparing the tools themselves and nothing else. So here's how it all went down. First, the battlefield, a perfect 6x6-foot square. Next, the mess, the exact same amount of crushed corn weighed out for both tests. And this is the really crucial part. Both tools were hooked up to the very same vacuum system. So the only thing that's different here is the tool at the end of the hose. And time, 180 seconds. So that is 3 full minutes to get the job done. Not bad, right? It's a solid performance. But now, that's the number to beat. And now, it's time for the main event. The big guy steps into the ring. The 2-inch tool is up. Same mess, same area, but the anticipation, definitely higher. Whoa, okay, 90 seconds, that's just a minute and a half. I mean, come on. The result is absolutely staggering. It's not even close. Well, the fight is over, and I think we have a pretty decisive winner. The results tell a very, very clear story. Let's just look at the cold, hard numbers side by side to see the final verdict. Look at that. The numbers just don't lie. This wasn't a small improvement. It wasn't a minor edge. The 2-inch tool didn't just win. It cut the job time exactly in half. We are talking about being 100% faster. Let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about shaving off a few seconds here and there. We're talking about doing the exact same job in half the time. That is a total game changer for efficiency. Think about what that means for labor costs, for just getting more done in a day. And really, this whole test just proves a pretty simple principle. Bigger tools move more stuff faster. It isn't magic, it's just physics. A bigger opening lets more air and more debris through, which means you get done a lot quicker. So all this brings us to the real takeaway here, the big question for you. If a bigger tool can save this much time on one tiny little 6x6 square, just imagine scaling that up. Over a whole job, a whole week, a whole year? How much time, and let's be honest, how much money is your current tool actually costing you? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.